There have been times in my life when I wanted God to open doors for me because at the time I thought I knew what was best. I wanted God to work on my time and acted as if he was some kind of genie who could magically grant my wishes. I became so frustrated because I wanted answered prayers and open doors. And when he did not show up the way I needed, or to be more precise, wanted him to, I began to doubt he was even listening to me. Little did I know that behind a few of those closed doors, God was protecting me from things unseen that could have been harmful to me. He had my best interests at heart and knew exactly what I could handle at any time. Also, while keeping some doors firmly shut for me, I didn't realise there were other doors he was waiting to open. That is something I've learned with the benefit of hindsight. Because I felt my prayers weren't being answered, it was all too easy to distance myself from God. Although, at the time, I felt like it was God distancing himself from me. Maybe what he was actually doing was giving me space to try and work it out. But he never left me. A bit like when my children were younger and learning independence, I would leave them to try and work things out, but I was never far away, always ready to pick them up and dust them down when they fell. There are so many verses in the Bible that remind us of God's constant and everlasting presence. The book of Isaiah says, "For I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand. It is I who say to you, fear not, I am the one who helps you." This paints a lovely picture for me. Reminds me of all the times when as a child I held onto my dad's hand when I needed reassurance or felt anxious or just didn't want to get lost. Putting my tiny hand in his what seemed to be huge hand, I knew I was safe. A paraphrase of Psalm 139 says, "Is there any place I can go to avoid your spirit, to be out of your sight? If I climb to the sky, you're there. If I go underground, you're there." Sometimes we really think we're going it alone, but he is always there. Do you remember the poem Footprints? One night I dreamed a dream. As I was walking along the beach with my Lord, across the dark sky flashed scenes from my life. For each scene, I noticed two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to me and one to my Lord. After the last scene of my life flashed before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. I noticed that many times along the path of my life, especially at the very lowest and saddest times, there was only one set of footprints. This really troubled me, so I asked the Lord about it. "Lord, you said that once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I noticed that during the saddest and most troublesome times of my life, there was only one set of footprints. I don't understand. When I needed you the most, why would you leave me?" He whispered, "My precious child, I love you and I will never leave you. And I never, ever, during your trials and testings, when you saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you." I'm sure that, like me, there are many times that you thought you were alone with your cares or your problems. The International Staff Songsters have recorded a beautiful song which reminds us perfectly that this is not the case. The words of the first verse are, "When I talk to you, I know you'll listen. And when I'm scared, I always know that you are there. In your presence, I will feel your comfort. That's why I know that I can come to you in prayer. It's in the stillness that you touch me and show me just how much you care. And as my heart fills with your wonder, I know that you are always there."